welcome to UFC on WCC. On today's program, we take a look at UFC 175, which is shaping up to be one of the biggest main events in history. I'm Philip Pearce, and today I'm joined with sports writer Josh Warringer and UFC middleweight fighter Andy Shepherd. But first, Michael Bisping returned back to the octagon after 354 days out of action, recovering from detached retina he sustained. Standing in his way is 8th-ranked middleweight Tim Kennedy. Kennedy, former Army Special Forces, was a clear underdog going into this fight. His coach, Greg Jackson, said beating Bisping would be great for Tim's career. Now, Andy, Josh, what are some of Michael Bisping's and Tim Kennedy's strengths going into this fight?
Well, Michael Bisping's one of my favourite fighters.
No,
He's from the UK. I love him. He's an experienced fighter. 16 wins by knockout, which is absolutely mental. He's got great footwork. Range of boxing and cardio goes into the fight with a 2-inch height advantage also, and a 1.5 inch reach advantage. But then again, Kennedy's a great fighter also.
I agree with you.
I must say,
definitely.
Phil, I've got a lot of respect for the man too.
Oh, definitely, being a national hero as well.
Yeah.
A true American.
Not in the ring,
patriot.
yeah. Not in the ring.
3 fight win streak.
So, Josh, how did Tim Kennedy perform against Michael Bisping?
Kennedy was too strong on the ground. Bisping couldn't handle it. He couldn't get up. It was too much for him.
Do you think that Michael Bisping being out of action for so long affected his performance?
It may possibly, but I don't know. I just felt like Kennedy had it all the way through. He was too strong. He was too good.
In the 5 rounds of action, Michael Bisping only dominated the second round. Final 3 rounds were all Kennedy, who dominated Bisping on the ground, wearing him down. During the fight's stand-up exchanges, Kennedy was able to stand toe-to-toe with Bisping. After 5 rounds, Bruce Buffer announced the judges' scores: 49-46, 49-46, and 50-45. With Kennedy winning by unanimous decision, he took his record to 18-4. Now, we move our attention to UFC 175 main event, Weidman versus Machida for the middleweight championship. How are you guys looking forward to this fight?
I'm so excited for this fight. You don't even understand. Like, Machida's... I love his style. Karate black belt. Such an unorthodox fighter also.
Yeah, but Weidman's undefeated, isn't he?
He is undefeated. I know that, but...
Yeah.
It's only such a close fight also. But, I don't know. I love Machida.
I think coming into the sport, beating Anderson Silva twice is a real big.
Oh, definitely.
Real big.
And Chris Weidman was the man to end Anderson Silva's reign.
I'm going to say,
Yeah.
I think it's
But-
Weidman's.
18-fight win streak Anderson Silva had.
But Machida's a former champion also. Light heavyweight champion.
I agree. He's got the experience.
It's tough to call that one, isn't it?
Definitely. It's going to be a great fight. Waves were felt around the world when Weidman knocked Anderson Silva out. How important was that win? Not just for the All-American, but for the UFC as a whole.
When Weidman knocked Silva out.
Mm.
It's very important. Like, it did signal a new generation of fighters.
Definitely.
I think it's changed the face of UFC in a way.
Yeah.
So
With John Jones as well. It's
agree
a
with
new
that?
breed of a fighter.
Hmm?
It's like kind of the stars moved on from UFC. It's kind of it was Anderson Silva. Like when you look at UFC, you're like Anderson Silva. He was the face.
Yeah.
Now it's kind of moved over to John Jones a bit. I think.
Or even across the board as well. You've got George St. Pierre, who's
Yeah.
chef, Chuck Liddell, Tito Tuyes,
Yeah, generally.
all the old breeders, all the old guards.
When I look at Weidman as well, I think he has so much potential.
Chris Weidman has the potential to be pound for pound best champion
Yeah,
in the UFC.
definitely.
Now, this fight was originally scheduled for UFC 174 against number 1 contender Vitor Belfort, but the Brazilian pulled out of the fight after the Nevada State Commission altered its policy on use of testosterone replacement therapy, which Belfort took part in. But that wasn't the end of the drama, as it revealed in March that Weidman required minor knee surgery, putting the fight back with Lyoto Machida until July the 5th. So, who's going to win? Machida, or is Chris Weidman going to defend his championship?
I think Weidman will pull out, but also Machida knows how to grind out victories if he needs to.
He does.
He's a former champion. He has the experience. He's got everything about it. It's going to be such a close fight, but I think Weidman is a great champion. I think he'll take it.
Yeah, I think Weidman will keep up that record of being undefeated.
Weidman across the board. Hey, if you haven't been watching the latest series of The Ultimate Fighter Brazil, one thing is for sure, we've seen coaches Chael Sonnen and Vanderlei Silva's confrontation during filming of the show, which UFC Dana White called disgusting. Because of that brawl out on the concrete, the fight is still yet to be confirmed after Vanderlei injured his back. Now guys, is this level of bad blood bad for the UFC?
I think in the UFC you need that bit of adrenaline, the rivalries. Yeah.
You do? You
Yeah.
think that's true?
I think
Josh, what do you think?
what they said is just it's too strong. Like, we understand that you need to be adrenaline packed, ready for the fight. You need to kind of get yourself angry at the opponent to be able to
You do.
really go at him. But this is just too far,
It
in my
kind
opinion.
of turns it too much into pantomime.
Yes.
The bad guy's renowned for being the greatest trash talker in the business. And as you can see with these tweets, the bad guy has been relentless, taking to the axe murderer after the show. It's easy to forget that it isn't just about the coaches here. There are 8 middleweights and 8 heavyweights fighting for a UFC contract. Sonny may have the psychological advantage going into the fight, but Team Vanderlei are leading the standings with Wagner Gomez, Ricardo Abreu, Antonio Carlos Jr. and Richardson Moriarty all moving on to the semi-finals. So, give us your predictions, Sonny or Silva, in this light heavyweight battle.
This is really close, but I think Sonnen's going to take it. I like Sonnen. He was probably one of the closest people to beating Anderson Silva
Yeah.
when he was probably in his prime,
Yeah.
I'd say.
Yeah.
It was a really close fight. So I think Sonnen's going to take this.
Yeah, I think Charles Sonnen's probably been the most unlucky fighter in UFC.
Mm.
I mean, he could have been the UFC middleweight champion, could have easily been the UFC light heavyweight champion if the fight with John Jones would have gone an extra 30 seconds, with Jones having that broken toe.
Saying Sonnen's favourite, but I don't think you can count out Silva.
Definitely not.
So, he's a legend, so
It
it'll be an
is
interesting fight again.
Explosive fighter also.
Explosive fight.
fantastic stuff. Now, are you two going to watch the new Expendables film coming out in August?
I'm not sure.
No?
Probably.
Yeah?
Yeah, probably
Andy?
will.
Yeah?
You sure?
Well, alongside the likes of Stallone, Statham and Schwarzenegger will be UFC Women's Champion Ronda Rousey.
Ooh.
However, before she's in cinemas worldwide, she'll be inside the octagon defending her title against number 2 ranked Alexis Davis. Now, in your opinion, is Ronda Rousey the most influential champion in UFC's history?
I'm not sure. Like, she's great. She's an amazing fighter. She took out probably her hardest on paper match. Like, in about 1 minute 30 seconds, something like
That
that.
was her last fight, UFC 170.
One knee.
Yeah.
She's
And
a
as
great
the
fighter.
first TKO in the UFC, it was a big moment.
Yeah,
So
it's
it wasn't
massive.
just a one trick, you know.
Yeah,
Probably one of the first
Fighter.
names you think of when you think about female UFC fighters.
Definitely.
Rousey.
that is the name, isn't it? Big
It is.
name.
It is. Rousey coming off of her first win by TKO, as we discussed, at UFC 170 against Sarah McMahon. Looks on paper she'll continue her championship reign. Trying to break the dominance Ronda Rousey has over the division, and possibly to give Davis some incentive, is a bounty of $5,000 from apparel company Americana MMA to be the first fighter to knock out the champion. So Josh, we're going to look at Alexis Davis now. So who is she? We don't know much really about her over in this country, so let's take a look.
Well, she's from Ontario, Canada. She's 29 years old. She's been a pro since 2007. 7 wins by submission, 2 by knockout, won 8 of her last 9, and her favourite techniques include chokes and a couple of knee strikes.
It's going to be a good fight. So this is the final prediction of the show. So who's going to win? Ronda Rousey or Alexis Davis?
I think Rowdy's going to be.
You've got to go with that.
Yeah, I think
Mm.
Rowdy Ronda is just. It's too strong. Like, she's such a good fighter, man. It's crazy. But Alexis Davis, one thing about her that I love is she's so committed. She loves to fight.
Oh,
Like,
of course. She is.
I was watching her last fight and she was getting punched in the face like real hard, and she was smiling. She was literally smiling.
The determination of these
She
fights
was-
is
She loves to
insane.
fight, and it'll be interesting. But I think that Ronda Rousey's just.
She's going to take it. That's great. Now we can't go before asking you. You've got your fight coming up.
Yeah.
UFC 173 against Nick Diaz. How's things going? How's training?
Sparring.
Sparring?
Training weekly. Yeah, it's got to keep going.
That's great. That's
Yeah,
great.
it's going well.
You've been described by Dana White as the most promising talent to come out of the UK since Michael Bisping. How do you feel about that? Is that pressurising you in your...
Not pressurising. Obviously, it's nice to hear,
Mm.
but I just want to really show what I can do in the octagon, really.
Yep.
It's nice to hear, nice to tell weight to say so, but I want to show that for myself, not someone telling me,
Brilliant.
saying it.
Prove
Well-
to the world.
Yeah.
Exactly. Well, we wish you all the very best. May
Thank
24th, everyone. We'll be
Watch
watching.
it.
So I've been Philip Pearce, and thank you for joining us for UFC on WCC.